So, welcome to another video. This one's going to be on formatting, which is everyone's favorite part of doing their thesis. Formatting has a special place in people's hearts because it's usually the last thing they do with their thesis. So it usually signals the end of an era, so to speak, the end of the thesis. But that usually means trouble for a lot of students who have decided to leave everything until the last minute. So how do we resolve this? How do I pump out enough information in this video? The term formatting it's a difficult term if you're not used to it, if you're not used to seeing it. But in terms of a thesis, it generally covers spacing, table of contents, page numbering, list of figures and graphs if you've done a quantitative type thesis or mixed methods. It covers general aesthetics, like the look of the thesis, the spacing, the margins, just how, like, are your graphs all the same size? Are they different sizes? Is it just a big giant mess? So this video is going to go through some of the basics of it, and then I'll have a big surprise halfway through the video where I'll basically show you how to do one of these things. Now, your first port of call for any sort of formatting trouble is your style guide or your guidelines from your college. These can be a bit tricky if you're not used to them. Some colleges have their own particular unique style. Some have margins set at 3 centimeters, others have 3.5, 3.8 or 4 centimeters. That's on the left hand side margin. Some will ask you to do double-sided or mirror margins. Some will advocate a little indent on every single paragraph if you're going to follow the APA style. The 7th edition has slight variations on the headings. Even in the header and the footers, there's going to be some differences there if you're not used to it. So in the process of making these lovely videos, I forgot to record myself doing the formatting exercise. So I'm going to have to hand you over to a past version of myself. So I'm going to focus on Roman numerals in this video. Now don't worry, if Roman numerals is something you're a complete expert in, I'll cover other videos. I'm going to cover stuff on spacing, how to do headings, how to create your own table of contents. I'm basically going to sink my own business to divulge these secrets I've gathered over the last 10 years. Take it away, Bill. Formatting, which everyone loves doing. You know, it's one of my most frequent services, so I can tell from that everyone loves doing formatting. Yeah, I mean, it's something that people leave till the very end, and sometimes they sort of say, I'll sort that near the end. You know, that's just the general aesthetics of it. I'm going to get the content down, which is not bad advice to give yourself, of course. But if you look at the marking scheme for how much marks are given for formatting, it's not too much. You know, I mean, obviously there's more pressing matters in your thesis you need to take care of. But there's the marks allocated to formatting in publicly, and then there's privately how many marks are allocated for it. And I'd say if you hand up your supervisor and an external examiner something that looks awful, it's going to sully how they look at the rest of your thesis. You know, it's going to impact. It's one of those little sort of secrets, I suppose. Well, I mean, how secret is it? I mean, I don't know. But if you hand someone up something messy, they're just going to be like, the hell with this. You know, they're obviously put no effort into making sure I get a clean document. So how do I know they put in the same effort into doing the research or making sure that their findings and discussion sections, are correct? And it's not bad, like it's a terrible assessment making anyone's thesis is to look at something that's a giant mess and go, well, the rest of it must be a giant mess. You know, I mean, I wouldn't agree with that. But it does psychologically have some effect on people. So, you know, just devote some time to doing it. Formatting, the main things, table of contents, the amount of people who hand me up stuff for me to correct it, where it has no table of contents or has some spurious chapter 1. It just says chapter 1. and then just page 9. Page numbering, you know, very important to put page numbers on your thesis. Most people don't. I have not put page numbers on my own thing here, but I am exempt from criticism here for the moment. Roman numerals, the bane of everyone's life. I'm going to show you how to do Roman numerals here. It's quite simple what you do. So just bear with me now for 2 seconds and I'll show you. So here's the whole document we've been looking at. So you want to click here. That'll give you access to page numbering. So that should open up this for you, page number. Most of the time they'll go in the bottom of the page. Now if it's APA, it goes up the top right, but let's just focus on this for the moment. So page 1. So that will give you access to, zooming out, sorry, will give you access to the whole document. So there's 9 pages. Now let's just say I want chapter 2, the literature review, to be Roman, or to be start with Arabic numerals. So this should be page 1, not page 3. So what you do there is quite simply go to go to layout, go to break, go to continuous. Okay, so that's done something now. It's not apparent that it's done something, but it's done something. And if you double click here, you'll see that now says section 2 and this says section 1. When you click here, link the previous, just unclick that and then unclick it here as well. Okay, now nothing has changed, you know, but if you just hover over this now, go to page number, go to format page numbers, start at page 1. Okay, so there's the number format, 1, 2, 3, start at page 1, click OK. Now look, it's changed to 1. And we have these two here, and we want them to become Roman numerals. So we just hover over 2 or 1. You can go to the start, the middle, or any part of the sequence. As long as it's in this section, it's all continuous. Format page numbers. Now, start at page 1. So it's good. That's going to go back the whole line. So don't worry about where you start with that. Now, number format. There they are. Look, Roman numerals hiding in plain sight. Okay, click OK. Now look, Roman numeral 1 and 2. It's magic, you know. And it's simple. It's simple enough. Once you know how to do it, it's simple enough. The main problem people have, because they know how to do that, they know to go into the format and change it from, you know, Arabic to Roman, but they're not putting the section breaks in, and that's the most important thing. So you got to go to layout, break, and specifically section breaks, so continuous or next page, and that gives you the dividing line to have section 2 and section 1. And the difference there is one is going to be Roman and one is going to be Arabic. Okay, just make sure everything is clean. Just make sure that chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 start on new pages. The bare minimum is just make sure chapter 2 is not starting on the same page as the end of chapter 1, and make sure the font is consistent. If it's supposed to be in Times New Roman, make sure everything is in Times New Roman. If it's supposed to be in you know, sort of font size 11, make sure everything is in font size 11. You might have a difference there with the headings, especially in APA 7. They might ask that tier 1 headings are in size 12 or 14. Just be conscious of that sort of stuff. So for the moment, that sort of gives us a great overview. The Roman numerals is something people ask me all the time, so I just thought myself that's a nice little one just to throw in here to this video, but I will go into more detail in the next ones. So there we go, perfect example on how to do Roman numerals. If you're still stuck, if you're still saying to yourself, you know what, that's really interesting, Bill, I know how to do Roman numerals now, but I don't have the time to do them, or I still don't get it. Shameless plug time. My business does formatting, so if you're still looking to get some help with your thesis, master's, undergrad, or PhD, I can help out with the formatting. So all the details will be in the link at the very end. So there ends the videos on the main parts of the thesis. So going forward, I'm going to become much more loose, much more specific in my examples. Some of the stuff I mentioned in the videos beforehand, I'm going to look at them in much more detail. I'm going to cover topics on, you know, college life, the politics of it, especially the politics of it in relation to doing your thesis. So I hope you'll stay around for those videos, and until then I will bid you farewell.